All right, all right. So number 2, what are the solutions to the quadratic equation 100 equals 4, parentheses x plus 4 squared? So one way you could solve this is by plugging in numbers such as this answer choice here, 1. You could plug in a 1 for x. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 4 is 100. So you could solve it that way. The way that I recommend is we're going to use Desmos as usual. But the trick is you have to understand this equation has to be equal to 0. So you need to get this equation 4x plus 4 squared. It should be equal to 0 instead of 100. So what do you have to do to move the 100? Opposite inverse operation. So the opposite of having 100 is minus 100. So you do minus 100 on both sides, cancels that out. So now you have a minus 100 over here. So what you type into the calculator is this equation. Don't worry about the equals 0. Just type in 4 parentheses x plus 4 squared minus 100. So I'll type that in now. 4 parentheses x plus 4 squared minus 100. There we go. Remember what the word solution means. So our x-intercepts. Solutions means x-intercept. So the x-intercepts -9 and 1. -9 and 1. 2 x-intercepts right here. So our answer would be G. 7. This table shows some points on the graph of a quadratic function. First key word here, quadratic. It tells you what is going to be the shape of this graph. It's quadratic. It's going to be that parabola, the U shape. So either one that goes up like this or one that opens down the opposite direction. So based on the numbers, look at it. The left is x, the right is basically y, f of x. This basically means y. And this is telling you how much it goes up and down. It starts at 9.5, goes to -1, and then -3, then -1, 5, 9.5. So it's going to be the left side. It starts up at 9.5, goes down, down, down. And what's the lowest number we get to? It's going to be -3. And then it starts going back up. And then eventually it'll go back up to 9.5. So the question says, what is the range? So range is y values. So how much it goes up and down, which is what I just tried to illustrate here. So it goes at 9.5 down to -3 and back up. And remember, it's going to keep on going infinitely up. So based on what we know here, you can be equal to -3 and you can be greater than -3. So our range is going to be y greater than or equal to -3. So our range is D, all real numbers greater than or equal to -3. If instead they asked us for the domain, well, quadratic functions keep going in both directions. So if it asked us for the domain would have just been all real numbers, which is symbolized with this funny looking R symbol. Let's see. So another domain question. So what is the domain of the function? I'm either looking at how much it goes across or how much it goes up and down. Domain is x, which is across. So it goes from here. I would recommend you illustrate it on your page to over here. Remember, if it's a white dot, you cannot equal that point. So it goes from about -6, it looks like, over to 5. So -6 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. Oh, wait. Well, remember, we have a white dot right here on 5. So you can't be equal to 5. So I'm going to erase that equals. You can just be less than 5, but not equal to it. So now this is right. You can see your answer choice now is going to be H. Next up, here's a graph of a linear function. Which function represents the same relationship? So you could use the formula that's going to be given to you for slope, and then use algebra to find the formula, find the y equals mx plus b. That's one way to do it, but the easiest way to do it is just use the calculator, and you only need 2 points to type this into to find a linear function in the calculator. So I'll make a table with these 2 points. Negative 3.5, so do plus table, negative 3.5, negative 30, and then negative 1, negative 17.5. And then this is the part you kind of have to remember. You'll be given y equals mx plus b, but you have to know in this calculator, we're going to use y1 tilde mx1 plus b. And now we have our line. It tells you m equals 5, b equals negative 12.5. So as long as you know what m and b stand for, you'll know your answer. So that's telling us the slope is 5, the y-intercept is negative 12.5. The number in front of x is a slope, so there should be a 5 in front of x, and then a negative 12.5 for the y-intercept behind the x. So here we go, that's going to be D. The last two. So if x represents the distance the cab travels in miles and y is the total cost, which equation models the total cost for renting a cab from the blue cab company? So you could get the equation the same way I just showed you. You would just need to look at 2 points on this graph. So two you could use are this 2, 8, and then this one here, 6, 14. 2, 8, 6, 14. If you're going to do it the old-fashioned way, the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and you don't have to remember that formula. It's going to be given to you on the formula chart. So that would be y2 is the second y value, so that's your 14, minus your y1, which is 8. This is 2, 8. And then over x2, the second x was 6. The one on the left, sorry, the one on the right, that's 6, 14. So it's 6 minus the second, the first x value is 2. 6 minus 2, you know 6 minus 2 is 4. The bottom number is 4. 14 minus 8 is 6. So 6 over 4, which simplifies to 3 over 2 if you divide both numbers by 2. So the slope is 3 over 2. And the y-intercept is somewhere around, looks like 5. Because I'm just looking at the graph. This number should be a 5 where you're on the line. So let's say m equals 3 over 2, b equals 4. And of course, we could have done a calculator as well. I'll first put a 2, 8. And a 6, 14, because we just needed 2 points off that line. And here we go. So yeah, we were right. Slope is 1.5, which is the same thing as a fraction, 3 over 2. The y-intercept is 5. So I wrote the wrong number, but y-intercept is 5. Hold on, Antonio, I'm making a video. I'm making a video right now, so I can't talk. And then you have to look at the answer choices and convert these answer choices into y equals mx plus b until you find one that does have the right slope of 3 over 2 or 1.5. Okay. Okay, you can come back in like 15 minutes. So I'll start with F. Let's erase this. F is 3x minus 2 equals negative 10. Sorry, minus 2y. remember, we need to solve it and put in y equals mx plus b form. So we need to get the x, the 3x over to the right side, and we need to get the -2 over to the right side away from y. Which one do we do first? You always do the x first. The opposite of 3x is minus 3x. Minus 3x. Cancel. -2y equals -3x minus 10. And then finally, to get rid of the -2, you divide everything by -2. So y equals these two negatives, -3 over -2, the two negatives cancel, so it's positive 3 over 2x. These two negatives on the 10 and the 2 cancel, so that's now positive 5. And what do you know? We have our answer. This 3 over 2x has the right slope because 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, so that's the right slope. And then the y-intercept is also 5, which is what it's supposed to be, 5, because our calculator said b equals 5. So the answer choice is going to be F. All right. And finally, this one here. You have y1 equals point blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read the equation, but you have these two lines graphed. What's the value of x that makes the equation true? It's basically a fancy roundabout way of saying what's the solution? The solution of two linear equations, which is two lines, is just wherever they cross. The x value of wherever they cross. So they cross right about here. Let me try to highlight this right around here. You go trace to where the x value is for that. I'll draw a line down here between 4 and 6. What number should that be? Of course, it's going to be 5. This is going to be a 5. So this point is at 5, 17. So your answer is 5. Hopefully that made sense, and you knocked these kind of questions out on the STAAR test.